Will 2025 be a good year to sell your house? And I'm not talking about the tinfoil hat stuff, and I'm certainly not using my shiny bald head for a crystal ball. If you're thinking about selling your home, you want to know exactly what's going on, the facts and the truth. And I've got some good news for you, but I've also got some bad news for you. Look, timing matters a lot in real estate, and knowing when you can sell will make a huge difference. So that's why in this video, I'm going to show you what's really going on in the real estate market, mortgage rates, buyer demand, so you can actually figure out if 2025 is the right time for you or not. And if you're new here to this channel, I'm Jerry Pincus, your real estate expert with over 20 years of experience in this field. And I'm here to help you avoid the pitfalls that are costly, not just the information. So without further ado, let's jump into the 7 things that you must know. Here they are in descending order. Number 7, the overview of last year's market. Now look, before we go into 2025, you really need to understand where the market is coming from. Because in the last year, we saw some significant shifts which will directly impact where we're going to be going in 2025. Mortgage rates, they went up a bit. They reached almost 8%, which is the highest that we've seen in the past 2 decades last year. And before, they came down a little bit to 6.7% before the end of the year. And these higher interest rates also discouraged a lot of potential buyers from even going into the market. But even with those high interest rates, prices did not go down, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. They actually went up by about 6.3% compared to the year before. Now, why and how could this even happen? I mean, one of the main reasons is the limited housing supply that we've had for years. Last year, only about 1.4 million new homes were built. Now, just to put this in perspective, this is significantly lower than the 2.25 million that were built annually during the mid-2000s. That's almost 50% less homes being built. That's crazy, right? And builders have slowed down because materials and labor has gotten more and more expensive, and borrowing money for them has also gotten more expensive. And it's become more difficult for them to make a profit, so they're just not doing it at the same extent. So as a result, guess what's happening? We're seeing less homes that are being built for sale. But there's still enough people who want to buy, which resulted in a shortage of inventory, and it creates a lot more competition, especially in certain price points and in certain areas. Yet at the very same time, many homeowners decide to hold their low mortgage rates instead of buying a new home at a higher rate. And this affects where we're going from 2024, and it's going to carry over into 2025 as well. Number 6 is the mortgage rates. You really need to understand all of these things because they're going to compound at the end. The good news is that mortgage rates this year are expected to stay about the same or maybe even go down a little bit, probably somewhere between 5 and 6%. While these rates aren't super low or as low as they had been back in 2021, they are a significant improvement over 2024, which could potentially bring back a lot more buyers into the market. But in the past few years, high interest rates made it harder for people to afford a home. We've seen people that just walked away because they look at the rates and they're like, what's my payment going to be? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait. So if rates go down a little bit, it's going to give buyers some more room to actually breathe. And more buyers into the market usually means there's more competition for your home, which means could be better offer as well. But the thing is, a lot of homeowners are actually sitting in ultra low mortgage rates. And many homeowners, they're in their homes. They aren't selling because buying a new one, they got to give that rate up to get a higher one. It just doesn't make sense. So think about it. If you're paying 2.5% or 3% on your mortgage and you want to switch it up and buy a new home at a 5.5% rate or higher, probably not. So this is essentially keeping the inventory pretty low. And this is one of the main reasons that prices have stayed high despite fewer buyers being in the market. Now, in 2025, we're likely to see this trend continue. And there's going to be more demand than there is supply, but not so much that prices are going to go crazy. So if you're thinking about selling, this is a situation that could actually be good for you because fewer homes for sale means less competition, and slightly lower rates actually means more buyers might start looking again. And this could make selling in 2025 a potentially really good opportunity. And number 5 is the home prices and the inventory. Well, home prices are expected to go up just a little bit this year, maybe around 2%. That means the average home price could be around $410,000 or a little bit higher. So this increase is smaller than we've seen in the past years, but it doesn't mean that the market is crashing, which a lot of people are talking about. This just means the market is stabilizing. It's not going up so fast, it's not going down so fast. But the thing is, the inventory is still going to be low because builders are still dealing with this high cost of materials and workers, and it's not easy for them to borrow money. And because of this, we won't be seeing too many new homes coming onto the market, which usually keeps the prices higher. However, there is some good news. Now, mortgage rates, they stay steady and the economy gets stronger, which they're predicting. Some homeowners might finally decide to put their houses on the market for sale. So as a seller, you need to find a balance. So on one hand, not many homes being for sale and prices going up are good things for you, right? And this means that there's still demand for your house. But on the other hand, if people all start jumping in and start selling, this could make your house stand out a little bit less in a competitive market. And number 4 is buyer demand and market trends. Now, millennials are the largest group of home buyers right now, because in the past we've been seeing that baby boomers were the biggest home buyers. But now it's starting to see a little shift because they're entering their prime buying years. Now, most of them are looking for suburban homes, extra space, good schools, family-friendly features. So if your home fits this description, you're already sitting in a good position. Now, another big group is those retirees, which I spoke about, and many are downsizing into smaller homes or moving to places with warmer weather and lower taxes. We've been seeing this. And if your home fits one of these popular retirement areas, it's going to be an increase in demand for your property. But you really got to keep in mind that lots of people are still renting, guys. The fact is, over 1 million people became new renters last year alone. Now, what this means is people still can't afford a home. So that's why, as a seller, you really need to understand the audience in your local market and then focus on showcasing those features that are in higher demand. Now, this is things like home offices, energy efficient upgrades, or family-friendly spaces, or even one-floor living. All this stuff matters depending upon where your house is and where you live. But number 3 is the seasonal trends. We all know that houses don't sell the same all the time. Traditionally, spring and summer are the busiest times for selling houses. And this trend is not going to change this year. So many families, they prefer to move just before the new school year starts, making April through June prime selling months on a national level. Now, the fact is, historically, around 40% of all home sales happen during that period. However, if mortgage rates do drop as predicted, we might see the selling season last even longer. And this may even stretch it into the fall. And buyers who've been waiting for these lower rates may decide to enter the market later in the year rather than earlier, which could create more opportunities for sellers. So try to list your home earlier in the year. In the beginning of the year, it often seems like a surge of buyer activity. Now, many buyers, after the holidays are over and the weather starts getting good, they start to plan their next move. So you really need to be ready when they start looking. So this means listing early, you'll have the advantage of this initial wave of buyers that'll potentially lead to a faster sale and actually a better price. And number 2 is personal considerations. Now, market trends, they're very important. Your personal needs should always come first. So if you're moving to a new job, or your family is growing and you need more space, or you need to downsize, or you're no longer working in the town where you used to and you're ready to retire and move somewhere else, these kinds of changes can help determine when you need to sell and what you need to sell for, regardless of what's going on in the market anywhere else. You are the priority, right? So if you've built up a lot of equity in your home, meaning that you've got a significant portion of it that's paid off, then 2025 could be a good time to sell, and potentially you can make a good profit. So just think about it. If your house is not ready to sell, or you're not ready to sell, renting out your property could be another option for you, because rents over the years have been going up. And there's also that demand. So renting could actually provide you with a steady income, and your property will continue to increase in value. But ultimately, it's about doing what makes most sense for you, because your financial goals, your family needs, and your overall lifestyle, these are all factors that you really need to consider, because market trends can give you some direction, but really your own situation is always going to give you the most important factor whenever you're selling a house. And then number 1 is, will 2025 be a good year to sell your house? So in short, yes, but it largely really depends on your situation, because every home seller situation, it's unique. So you got to time it as well, because the timing has to be right for you, and you got to understand what's happening in your market, or it could absolutely be the wrong time for you to move, right? So if you're thinking about buying or selling a house in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or anywhere else in the United States, my real estate team is here to help you out. I know you have questions. We have answers. Pick up the phone. Give us a call, 843-839-9870. We can hook you up with that local real estate expert who knows exactly what's happening. Not average, but way above average. And that's the stuff that you really need to know. Someone who can help you find your hidden gem and also guide you through and make sure that you avoid those pitfalls that are costly. And if you didn't already know, my name is Jerry with Jerry Pincus Real Estate Experts. My team has helped thousands and thousands of people successfully move over the last 20 years. We don't want you to be average. We want you to get way above average. We want you to make sure that you're avoiding those pitfalls that are costly. And we see that happen every day. I just don't want it to happen to you. want you to make a smart decision. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to share this with somebody you know who could use it. Hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. There's lots more videos on here that are going to help you out. So if you never want to miss one of these helpful selling videos, remember to ring that bell. See you in the next episode.